Thank you, Madam Chair. General Semonite, I wanted to raise with you a project and a problem that's very, very pressing for folks in my district in New Jersey. As you know, the Rahway River in New Jersey floods whenever there's a major storm. During Hurricane Irene, flooding in the town of Cranford in my district affected thousands of homes. This had happened before. It will happen again. And there's been a lot of work done looking at this over the years, a lot of complicated issues that the Corps and local stakeholders have been struggling with. But I was disappointed to learn that the Corps has determined that it would terminate the Rahway River flood risk study. Now, I understand that when this project was transferred from the New York district to the New England district, you made a commitment to Senators Booker and Menendez that you would continue to work to find a solution that is suitable to all parties. And so, recognizing the complexities, what I'm hoping to hear from you is whether this commitment still exists and whether the Corps is willing to stay engaged as the local stakeholders continue their efforts to forge a consensus on a way forward.
So, Congressman, I travel 3 days a week. When there's the real thorny projects, I fly in and I find out what's going on. I did talk to both of the senators personally. I said we were going to try to find a way of facilitating a solution on this one. So I've been to Orange Reservoir several times. I've been walking around those. This is exactly back to Congressman Palmer's question of when you have something that's going on for a long time and you can't get everybody to align to the good enough solution, at what point do we say too hard? The benefit cost ratio has to be over 1 by law for me to sign a Chase report. I can't get over 1 right now unless I have more flexibility. So we asked for an additional pond down below, which there is land. Locals didn't want to have an additional pond. We asked to be able to raise the dam above. Locals didn't want to have that happen. So this is where everybody held to the red line, and at the end of the day, it's not that there's not an engineering solution, there's not an acceptable solution that all the stakeholders can agree to. So then I owe it back to people like Congressman Palmer to say, probably too hard, this one's got to find a different out-of-the-box solution, or if not, sir, then all we do is we keep expectations out there that something's going to happen when we can't find a way of feasibly giving you an acceptable project.
I would say that the expectations are quite realistic, and everybody understands the difficulties that you've just outlined. On the other hand, we've got to find a solution because human beings are involved, and so
we stay committed to trying to find an acceptable solution.
Okay. Are there options to keep the study in a pending status rather than terminating it at this stage in order to basically keep that process alive while we search for that local solution that you need?
Sir, we've already gone down this road 2 years ago. We can certainly look at it again, and maybe Mr. James and I can put our heads together, but I think what we would need to see is some significant different change in some of the stakeholders' positions on ability to find an alternative solution.
If that consensus is reached, can you walk me through the next steps from the Corps' perspective?
So then we would continue to be, it's a benefit cost ratio. So I either got to bring costs down or I got to make benefits higher. We don't want to in any way fudge numbers. So the bottom line is I can't really do much with the benefits. So how can local stakeholders find a way of, a good example is land. If we get land free, instead of having to buy land, that comes off the cost. If there's ways that I can figure out how to, if there are other benefits, how can we continue to work the equation so then I can give in the WRDA a over 1 BCR, then you can make a decision whether to fund it or not.
Understood. Shifting gears a little bit, I did want to come back to you, Assistant Secretary James, on the issue of NEPA and the proposed rules that Congresswoman Napolitano asked you about. Our understanding of one of the potential impacts of the proposed rules is that there would no longer be a requirement, for example, to understand how or whether a road or bridge in a coastal area would be threatened by sea level rise. If that's true, does that strike you as sensible, that we would not need to take those factors into account under those circumstances?
No, sir, that wouldn't be sensible.
Thank you. I yield back.